Hello, gamers. Hello, noobs. Welcome to Game 32. And I'm joined today by a very special guest who needs no introduction. He's extremely experienced, is always first pick because of his deep game knowledge and social reading skills, many times vice captain, 8P enjoyer who hosts his own tournament, and enemy of mindless Danish followers and 6P. He's also one of the side founders. Let's welcome Vice Captain of Team 4, Refrain.
Hi guys.
So this is a special game.
Yes, I think the players are all experienced, and I think we can expect like all of them to think for themselves in a reasonable manner. So I'm excited to see how this plays out.
So there's already a lot of chat. Complex sending paste bin that I'm gonna open. Some solve. and gonna close. I'm
Yeah, I
Raspberry
think
Fighter. Oh, oh dear. To
Mhm.
preface, I'm really hungover and have massive something after 3 hours sleep.
This is actually interesting. Complex posted a paste bin after the game started. I don't think I don't think that's I think that might be a little bit against the rules, but I'll let the Tourney mods decide that. Like you can't just post a paste bin with a bunch of info in it and then expect people to read it, or for people who read it to have an advantage in some way, or have a read on you in a certain way.
Hmm.
But we'll leave that to the
Ugh.
tourney organizers and just treat it as a piece for now.
So let's see 1.3 is something. Anti-Avan complex. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I mean the paste bin link is a percentage Avalon solve and saying you should pick something.
I see. Well, let's just ignore that basement. I don't think anyone is gonna read it anyway while playing.
That's fair.
My admirable silly nature will get in me.
Yeah, I think Ave is hasn't having filler chat. Another, yeah, it's just filler chat really.
He was
Mission one.
having this filler chat when he was Merlin in my game.
Yeah, mission one is just off picks. As a spectator, if it's just off picks, it's pretty hard to make a conclusion based off of that. Like you really need to be like a VT, or like you need to have a role in the game to actually make anything out of the off
Mm.
picks.
So, if we assume that Medusa is VT,
Yeah, that's fair. Well, he got off picked with 1.1 and 1.2. So I mean, assume correct picks. He actually doesn't really. He can only really pick bum because he got off picked by 1. Sorry, let me rephrase. He got off-picked by 1.2 and 1.3 and off-picked
mm.
with 1.1 and 1.6. So he can only on-pick Bumfuzzle without going against that. So, well, that's an option, but also I think at this point, Dusa should start considering wrong mission ones. And it might seem kind of early, but if the mission ones line up such that it
Mm-hmm.
forces you to pick 1.4, I mean, I don't think 1.4 is like a horrible pick, but it should be a very purposeful pick. Um, like I think the site meta has developed in a way where picking 1.4 seems spyish because you're unwilling to provide info at 1.5. But I think like there's a time and place for it.
He's picking into 1.2. I was thinking that he's gonna pick Hakka over Ape Hunter though.
I think that's fine. It could be that a pick two spies and Haka's reflecting a clean team, right? Like reflecting another incorrect team. So I think Dusa, like if Dusa is VT, obviously. If he's not VT, like everything doesn't really matter. Or if he's spy trying to pretend he's VT, like I think that's a pretty good pick. Well, to be fair, as Merlin and Percy, you should also worry about how your VT picks because that's part of the equation. So I mean, yeah, picking 1.2 implies, kind of outlines a team of anti arm and complex.
Yeah, and
Although
what
I'm
do
not
you
sure.
think? What do you think, Ref, about anti-Hakka and Baumfuzzle with Complex Merlin?
I think that's a little bit rough. If with who Merlin? Sorry.
It would be Complex Merlin, or maybe Armter.
Um,
So 1.1 is Torres, 1.2 is also Torres, so 1.3 kind of strange pick, I think. And it would make sense if he would also do a bottom one for no reason. And then I know Bonfuzzle
Alright,
likes to
who are the
off-pick his...
spies in your example? Haka and Bum
Yes,
with
exactly.
Complex Merlin? I don't think so. Complex after seeing a bad Mission 1 off pick with 2.5 hammer, he has no reason to just like pick suddenly correctly
Oh,
for the sake of.
He didn't pick correctly 1.3 if that would be the case.
Oh, okay, you're right. It's getting a little bit complex for me.
But yeah, maybe let's
Yeah,
focus on M2s right now.
yeah, it's a
So
bit hypothetical.
Arthur is accusing, and Haka is also accusing. Oh, and
Well, I
so
don't
is
think
the only ad was added. Makes sense.
I don't think this is a fail. Yeah. The reason I said is like it was outlining a clean team of anti-complex arm, the 1.5, right? So I feel like Arm might have just like got it off on purpose. Hawk obviously can't really pick. So I think like anti-complex and Arm is quite a real team right now. Hawk tried. Obviously, Hawk can't pick Mission 1 given his 1.2, so he just picked Hammer and who was picked, which is actually a really default pick that I do sometimes when I want to pass the information, like but not pick Mission 1, which I
Mm-hmm.
typically don't like to if I'm off Mission 1. It's just a habit to increase Mission 2 variety, but anyways, not about me. I think the fact that Complex went back on 2.4 might have sheeped Bumfuzzle. Bum might have thought Mission 1 is only clean with Complex anyway, and therefore I'm going to pick Complex and Ave instead of,
Yep, he was
Dusa and
picking the
Ave.
only ad.
Yeah, but I think like maybe I wouldn't have come to this analysis as well if I were in Bum's position, but because we were analyzing how Mission 1s were from Dusa VT
Mm.
perspective, like I still think Arm Complex is a team. Okay, I haven't read chat. So
Me neither. I'm
and
also
then
thinking about
Ave actually
3.1.
said so. Bum said Arm is res. So if it is comp Arm, and I'm not saying it necessarily is, but if it is, then whoever's Merlin's having a really bad time. Um,
Mm,
insanely cringe 2.5 typical normal chat. Ave says Mission 1 still has ads.
Yeah, I'm thinking about anti-Bumfuzzle. Oh, maybe anti-Bumfuzzle Armter is no possible.
Yeah. So I mean, it could also be Bum is Merlin and just like doesn't really have a better pick or doesn't cannot pick clean here if Ave is a spy because like Ave could just totally still
Bottom?
be a spy, right?
Bumfuzzle Merlin on bottom?
That's also possible. I think Dusa is not picking terribly. If he's picking, I mean, yeah, like Bumfuzzle basically shut down Haka being an ad to Mission 1 and him. Sort of shut down. So,
The other pick he can do is to avoid Ave Hunter, because Ave Hunter said that M1 still has ads. So
yeah.
picking anti-complex Ave, definitely a good possibility. And also by this pick, I think that Armter just became Confress.
Well, I don't think so. We need to see the votes. And I don't think Ave saying Mission 1 still has ads is necessarily spy speak.
Oh yes, definitely not.
So I don't think I probably would not have advocated for anti-comp AF. Like AF, first of all, he was picked by Dusa, who, for in Bum's perspective, could be PR. Second thing is that like I don't think a spy necessarily needs to speak because no one really said Mission 1 doesn't have any more ads. It's just that people didn't pick Mission 1+1, but it doesn't become the case that Dusa and AF have to spy each other now that 2.5 failed,
Oh,
and clearly it's
definitely
not
not.
happening.
Yes, I also think that this Aves chat is a little bit more res than spyish, if anything.
What did you say just now?
Uh,
Sorry, I was reading Dusa's chat.
so I said that if anything, then I think Aves chat is more res than spyish here.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Hawk is chatting like it's comp and arm spies, and Hawk is like Merlin crying in the ditch or something. Um,
Hickrich, and also Bamfuzzle rejecting this. So Bamfuzzle rest Armter, by the way.
yeah, I mean Bumfuzzle said, yeah, I mean Bumfuzzle doesn't think Mission One's at his arm third clearly.
But he rest Armter. You say that that's a
Yeah, I mean,
lot of
well, you say
information here.
it's pretty early.
Uh, what is
More
this?
filler chat.
No, I think like this
Okay.
is like I want to hide a message or something. I solved a Sudoku before this game. It was really complex, so complex wrong by cracking it.
Cracking the Cryptic is a YouTube channel. No,
Oh,
I don't think it's a I don't think it's a coded message.
Oh, dear. Reading into
I like
interface.
IJSIT, like,
Uh-huh.
or maybe he's trying to say it was really complex that failed the mission. Who knows?
You know, if I would be his Percival right now, I would be crazy
Well,
trying to read what did he mean here.
yeah, I mean,
Oh, Medusa's
I
getting
think
removed?
3.2 was very interesting. So
Oh,
Arm said,
this is a strange pick, I think.
Arm said, "All right, Dusa, that's a way to kick yourself outside the game." And then he picked Dusa again, and then Dusa rejected his own hammer away. So Dusa looks pretty res. I don't if I mean Dusa had a free fail on mission 3.2 if he's assassin with hammer, which definitely forces a lot of things.
You know, right now I think left hand side and Medusa. Also, so Banfazul has res Armter, and since
Yeah.
then, no one tried a team without Armter. No one tried anti-Banfazul and Armter.
Yeah, but Arm also rejected 3.3. I mean, rejecting a mission that gives you hammer doesn't make you automatically res. But as a spy, and if it's a strong approve to get it apt.
So right now I'm
Okay.
starting to think that both Ave and Arm are res, and Medusa's also looking res, so left hand side and Medusa is looking definitely strong.
Yeah, complex is not saying much after being added to mission 1. Well, not mission 1.
And this is
No.
anti-Ave Hunter and Medusa. Hmm.
I mean, to be fair, if Haka's VT and just reading all the chat, this can be decently viable. It's as the only wrong pick then would be his own mission 1. Actually, I don't think it's very viable because I don't think Dusa would pick Ave to like bring attention to 1.2 if 1.2 was a wrong res off pick.
I'm starting to be afraid that it's well, maybe it's actually really
But 3.4,
anti-Hakka and Baumfuzzle.
but 3.4 is viable in the sense that Dusa wants to guarantee a spy on mission 2 because res has a very strong win rate when mission 2 fails.
You know, I would be really happy if it would be anti-Baumfuzzle and Hakka because it was the first team that I was considering.
I think it's possible.
Hack isn't
Yeah,
going on and free with Medusa. Okay, so Arm is trying to hint into either right hand side and himself or anti-Medusa and Ave. No, it was picked. Left hand side and complex. It was also picked. So I think he really is hinting into anti-Hakka Bonfallo right now. Yeah, he's saying that anti-Hakka isn't going to on and free.
Haka says I don't think we should repick anything.
Hakka's team right now. Anti-Armed or Bonfuzzle, perhaps? Merlin? No.
I think Haka and Arm are it's difficult for both of them to be res at the same time and the way the chat is going.
Yeah, I should also focus on the chat. I've been really into
Yeah,
logic
so
reading. Anti-me bomb is a bit cringe.
Ave suggested your team and then Arm said I was begging. I don't want to deal with Ave on M3, so
Uh,
Dusa is shutting Ave down.
okay.
And then Ave says this game is impossible.
Oh, what if it's Ape Hunter Merlin on the
So it says
team?
don't pick yeah, maybe they're not maybe Ave picked a bad mission 1.1 as Merlin to hide and then they all took it seriously. It's that could be a possible.
I really hope it's not the case. A square? No. No
Well,
fucking way.
Arm said don't pick Square and don't pick Ave, so that's
Yeah.
basically pick Bum and then one of Hawk and Dusa, and then Hawk said don't pick repick. So to obey everyone's on team's wishes, Comp has to pick right hand side
Yeah, right
Arm,
hand side and arm. Exactly.
which is the only pick that follows both Haka and Arm's wishes. But I don't feel like
And it's
that's
clean.
clean actually.
And it is clean.
So Arm did a lot, and all of our
Wow.
early information was wrong. Well, it's hard to randomly find the clean team anyway. I don't think Dusa's mission 1 had much to do. Bum could be
Hmm.
Merlin. Bum removed mission 1 and then said complex and then said arm is res.
Hmm.
I mean, Mission 3.2 and 3.3 are both very strong rejects from the recipient of the hammer for Mission 4. So I think that like made them definitely easy to pick. I think Complex also could be Merlin because Complex approved missions. I think Complex is probably has pretty big Merlin equity because he approved 3.2 and 3.3, which would have given res hammers, and he starts rejecting as soon as it would give a spy hammer, and then he maybe took a long time to try and get clean picked because he knows it's a double spy hammer if mission 3
Mm-hmm.
is wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you're picking it in complex position, then if you're Merlin, you know that if you pick dirt, two Merlin hammers, two spy
Yeah,
hammers. I mean,
but however, he had an incorrect mission 1, so maybe that was misleading people for a while.
complex is 1.3. Well, I think that Medusa and Arm, they did a lot. Van Fazel
So
just started the fire, I'd say. Like 3.1 reject is crazy. It's so huge. Because Banfazl is pretty much saying that Ave Hunter is a spy with
yeah,
3.1 reject.
I feel like if Complex is Percy, then Bump might be Merlin with just obvious Percy approves on mission 3. Because
And
Hack is Morgana.
oh dear, oh, imagine this combo: Banfazl to Hack and Medusa
I don't think it's super likely.
because of 3.1 reject. Yeah, because he would know that Armter is res.
Well, also, I don't know. Dusa doesn't seem very Merlin to me. He didn't contribute too much in mission 3, and his 1.5 was just wrong.
Well, he banned
And
Ave Hunter from being picked.
no, arm banned Ape Hunter,
Oh
I think.
really?
Let me check. Oh no, Dusa ban. Arm said Dusa is begging to be on mission 3. And
Oh,
then Dusa said, I don't want to deal with M3s. Armin doesn't want me on M3s with Haka.
Arm doesn't sound Merlin, I
No, but
think.
Arm kind of said the most at 3.5. We can see the chat starting 3.5 is probably the most relevant to
Excuse me.
assassination.
I'm res by someone and anti-us is a bad as a team given 3.4 happens.
You know I'm
Frankly,
res when Arm
hmm
speaks to me as such. Well, I mean, 3.2 solo reg is basically like extremely strong.
yeah,
But
I think we are looking at
no. I
Banfazl and
think I think I
Medusa
think
PRs.
Dusa is it's tough for Dusa to be Merlin because 3.2 is like it's a very natural approve for him, I think.
Yep, yep, yep. I think we are looking at Banfazl and Medusa 2 PRs.
I think Dusa's not Merlin from 2.3.2.
Really?
I mean, why would you reject that? He didn't really contribute it to getting it repicked. It was really
Hmm.
Arm that just advocated for it,
Oh, it was
and
clean 3.2. Oh my god. Yes, you are fully
that's
correct.
probably why Haka said, "Let's don't repick, try different options." He was trying to
Oh,
prevent that from being repicked. Like,
and
what the fuck? Square is such a legit team.
yeah, and we came back into the clean being repicked that I missed myself. And Medusa's rejecting 3.2.
No, I
Well,
think what 1.5, 1.5, 3.2 is too much. Like, if you make a mistake as Merlin,
yep,
like
yep.
if it, like
I buy. I
yeah,
fully
like
buy.
Dusa as Percy, like no Percy is fucking advocating for 3.5 repick when 1.5 and 3.2 both exist. Because it's like, oh, like he's just fucking picking assassins and rejecting the two other VTs. So I just don't buy Dusa Merlin at all. I think everyone else can be a viable shot.
Ref, what do you think about Percival options to complex?
That's a good question. I mean, I think anyone really. I mean, I don't think like obviously some of them have wrong mission threes. So Complex and Haka would be the PR pair, and then Bum and Arm both at 3.4. So if they're Percy to Complex, then they have balls, kind of.
And what do you
Uh,
think about Medusa to complex, rejecting clean because of 1.3? Being
yeah,
really unhappy about being removed,
I think that's
rejecting bottom. Very strong line, I think.
yeah. Dusa. Yeah, I think Dusa to Complex is trying to outline. Well, Dusa to Complex means he's picking Ave, and then if Ave is like if Complex off pick correctly, the mission 2 just becomes clean.
Yeah, but then why is he picking Ave, who would be Hakka's spy? Like, Hakka's team would be anti-complex Ave.
Yeah, I think Dusa to Complex is like a bit weak because that just means Dusa
Yeah.
said "fuck you, Haka."
Yep. Here I can
But to
fully
be fair, he
agree.
didn't have many picks available. I think if Dusa was Percy to Complex, he would be a bit more careful. Like he probably would unpick one of the Merlins. So like instead of just
Mm.
like siding with their VTs, or he just unpick Bumfuzzle. Like I think Dusa is more likely VT in this game. So which makes Complex a weaker Merlin because Arm and Bum are not as strong Percys to Complex. And also, I don't think Complex really contributed to Mission 3 succeeding. He
But
just rejected
perhaps,
3.4. I think Complex to Bum and Complex to Arm are generally stronger.
which combos? Can you say that again?
Complex being Percy to anyone. That's not Dusa.
Complex to armor bomb puzzle. 3.3 anti-bomb puzzle and
Well, I think it's just that Complex to Bum is a stronger Percy line. Complex to Arm still at 3.3.
I also think that we might take under account the fact that no one picked anti-arm and bomb puzzle. And well, maybe not everyone because it could only be Medusa on 3.1. But he didn't pick that. Part of me wants to be like, he's Percival to complex. Even though, well, I think his 1.5 is so tough that you can't really rule out any possibility.
I don't think he's Percival to Complex. I mean, I just don't think Deuce's Percival because Deuce's Percival is Deuce. I mean, again, Deuce's Percival could think that the clean is Bum, Haka, and Ave because Ave picked wrong. That's the only way Deuce can be Percival.
With 3.1 bottom reject, pick reject from Medusa is also, it's pretty much saying that Bumfuzzle and Ave has one spy. Right? And Bumfuzzle's rejects is saying that Ave is a spy, because Ave said that M1 plus 1, I mean M1 has ads, and Bumfuzzle said that Arm is res. Are you following me on this one?
No, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
So, Bumfuzzle says that Arm is res,
Yeah.
and Ave is saying that M1 has ads. And then they are pick rejecting bottom. So Bumfuzzle rejecting bottom is saying, I know that Arm is res. You said that M1 has ads, but I reject, so you're a spy.
Yeah, I mean, Bum gave a huge amount of info this game at like 2.5. Well, right after 2.5
Hmm.
happened. And then he just kind of stayed silent though.
Hmm.
So like he didn't seem very. He didn't talk in 3.5. To me, that's not Merlini because he has no guarantee that the VT and Percy's talking to each other is going to get that repicked.
Maybe
So
he's scared.
I give him less Merlin equities. The Spies had a really strong position getting Hammer rejected all the way to 3.5. So without finding Percy's, I feel like Arm is the most Merlin and it may be complex. Deuce to complex could still work in the logic I described, where he's not fucking Haka over, but he's picking Ave under the guise of Ave picking wrong and Haka picking wrong, which is also
Oh,
I guess viable.
but Ref, there was one chat. So Medusa is he's picking bottom at this point in time. And then Armter says on chat, alright, Dusa, I'll hold you on this team, and this team only. How's that sounding? About bottom.
Actually, that's kind of unmerlining.
And then he's approving. He shouldn't expect this to be rejected, to be honest. And maybe because of this like crazy scary chat, Bumfuzzle is rejecting. That's Merlin.
No, but Bumsov didn't say anything in 3.5, and
Maybe
he
he
also
was
approved
scared.
3.4.
He claimed a lot of info, got scared.
Yeah, I mean he can still viable Merlin, right? But it's tough to come back from a double spy hammer.
I wouldn't shoot
Um,
Arm because of his chat and crit though. Like he didn't sound Merlin.
there was no crit this game.
Oh yeah, so 3.5. Let's say was the crit. And also Baumfuzzle or Complex are actually on my radar right now. You dislike Duza to Complex, Armter to Complex right now.
Yeah, complex is looking more
Hmm.
and more juicy as we like analyze more and more.
Baumfuzzle, Baumfuzzle, Baumfuzzle. So from his POV, he sees 1.1 Armter Complex, but it's a VT pick. Then he says he's Medusa and Ape Hunter. That would mean Armter's res from 1.2. And then he sees Complex Medusa Armter. Ape Hunter would be res to Complex. Picks 2.5. Hmm.
Why isn't Hawk going on mission 3 with Dusa? I think basically what gets clean picked is I'm saying Hawk isn't going on M3. And
It
in
could.
fact Hawk isn't going on
Ah.
M3.
Yeah, the 3.2 is making me think because if it fails, then Ape Hunter claimed that M1 is his team, and Baumfuzzle spied him by rejecting bottom. So if it fails, what teams are there? Left hand
Well,
side
Bum can't
Medusa?
be Percy resing arm. It has to be like complex or Dusa Percy to arm. But if Dusa Percy to arm also doesn't make sense that much because he's just overriding Huck for no reason. So I think because why is Bum raising arm as Percy? Like just because
Hmm. I also
like
think it wouldn't
mission 2
happen.
happened. Like Haka didn't do anything to get spied by Bum. And also Bum at 3.4, so I think Bum is likely VT or Merlin. Or I
Well,
mean he could be Percy to complex, I guess. But
I'm not
like
really liking that one.
I think like this is a very interesting assassination. Why like how Arm took over the game mid game and then just said no square, like Dusa and Huck shouldn't be on together.
Percival to complex. Armand to complex. Hmm. Well, if it's arm to complex,
Arm to complex could work.
then he sees like 1.3, and the team is 2.5 with him, because Medusa would be a spy from 1.3, because 1.2 would be correct. And 1.1 would also be correct if Hakka is res, because it off-picks complex and armter, so he should expect correct
Yeah,
1.2.
I think the best shots are ironically back to Bum. It's just there's several factors. Like so 3.5 lack of panic. This is
Hmm.
not very Bum fuzzily. And
Hmm. Something? I feel like if Bumfuzzle is Merlin, he exactly is silent on 3.5. And if he's VT, then he might be claiming something. Because he claimed info and he observed the game going, so he might be also willing to be active, like he was
yeah, I mean
active.
he might be willing to be silent if he spots Arm like basically
Hmm.
sending the clean there. So
Oh man.
I mean this is just a tough assassination. I
Sitting
think
into Baumfuzzle
Res
complex.
definitely added a lot of correct info, whether that's RNG or good reads. It's hard to say. Complex didn't really out any information. He just had a key 3.4 reject, which would have been relatively hard to come back from.
Yeah, all of the heavy lifting was done by Armter and Bumfuzzle.
A complex didn't do anything. It's more that does complex make more sense as Merlin, given the context of the small non-Merlin queues. I think Arm can't say no. I think I'm gonna unmerlin Arm because Arm can't talk like that to Dusa on 3.1. Like
Yep, yep.
what if Bum and the what if Bum and Dusa apt? Like what is Arm doing to like take that back?
Definitely, definitely. This is exactly why I unmerlined Armter, and I am on Complex and Bumfuzzle. While Armter Percival options, Medusa to Bumfuzzle is also something because Medusa
I'm
picked rejecting bottom.
Arm to complex is very strong. Well, actually,
No, it's
2.2 is a
not
bit weird.
Medusa to Bumfuzzle, never. Because he was very upset about 2.5. He would never pick this Merlin again. He would pick Hakka, right? Like 2.5, he was like very
Yeah, no,
upset,
no.
yeah?
Dusa to
Makes some
I
sense.
think. Well, Dusa to Bum would approve 3.2 because
No, 2.2,
Complex is
yeah.
basically saying Mission 1 plus U is fucking dirty, so Ava's assassin.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably would approve
Yeah,
3.2.
definitely, definitely. It's not Medusa to Bonfils. Like, I would never shoot that. It makes little sense. But then Medusa to Complex, it assumes a lot of
Yeah, but
3.1
just Complex
pick
is
rates.
possible.
Mm,
I mean,
I
I
don't
think
know
it's easier
that.
to analyze by Merlin. So Bum has the Percy in Arm.
Bonfils to Arm Term. I don't think
No, but what
so.
is Arm really accosting? Is Bum really accosting Dusa when Complex? Sorry, when Bum picks the other two VTs? I don't think so.
You know, I really dislike the idea of Arm Turn to Bonfuzzle
So I
with
think Bum has only
bottom up.
Complex Percy at this point, right?
Bomb to
So how
Complex. Like, let's see that one. Complex.
Complex to Bum 3.4 makes sense. I mean, I think Complex to Bum is
Oh yeah,
probably the
Complex
strongest.
to Bomb makes a lot of
Bum is
sense.
by
Yeah.
far the strongest Bum shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's one shot. Let's filter out the Percys for Complex. I think Complex is 3 Percys.
Medusa to Complex is this very strange combo of pick rejecting bottom, rejecting right
Well,
constant.
actually, no. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on. Medusa to Complex is possible, but it's we kind of talked through it
Very
already.
strange. Very
I think
strange.
Bum to Complex is a little bit weird because like it doesn't have to be. It could easily still be anti Haka could be Merlin and it could be anti Complex and Arm as a team, which I kind of
Mm-hmm.
pointed out. Um, if Bum is Percy the Complex, so I don't like, and also like Bum Percy the Complex has weird vote 3.4, and then the lack of participation
So
3.5 seems a
1.3
little bit
ref.
weird.
I think you're missing one thing. In Bumfuzzle to Complex, he sees 1.3. And then A
Yeah,
counter is
no,
contrast, like.
no, which is I think Bum to Complex is not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So complex. So
Really?
the last combo is arm to complex. Arm to complex has decent ground to stand on, especially for him to hate square. It still feels a bit
Mm,
weird that arm is accosting. So arm Percy just feels a bit weird to either complex or bum because that means arm is aggressively chatting down Dusa as leaving Dusa with bottom as his only team.
yeah.
When so I think arm is VT and arm thinks Dusa's PR or spy from 1.5.
Complex
And
to
I think
Bumfuzzle is definitely the strongest combo I'm seeing right now.
yeah, I think complex to bum fuzzle and the secondary combo is Dusa to complex. I think
Use of the
that's
complex is very. That would be a very crazy one.
which is kind of crazy. I think arm accosting Dusa actually gives a lot of information. Like I think it actually VT's arm throw straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's arm to if it's arm to Dusa, I'm gonna shoot myself. So I think okay, I'm gonna check what assassins because we were basically assassinating this whole time after missions ended. So
Yep.
I'm gonna check what the spies are
Oh
saying
yeah, definitely. I'm also curious about because we were doing the assassination ourselves.
effectively. Um,
Mm,
okay, so Bum
let's.
raising arm as Percy to comp. No, but we eliminated Bum to comp.
Well, showing my 2.5 isn't
Well,
of course it.
actually, Bum to comp
Yeah, I was about to
makes
ask you about that. Why did you eliminate that one?
well because I think if it's Bum to comp, then um, what is why does he res arm? Arm could still be spy and Haka res.
So Hack is picking maybe because of 1.2?
No, because Bum can't res Armther, because if it's Bum to comp, top two are Merlins, right? So, if he reses Armther, he's basically effectively limiting the team where Hawk is Merlin and he's picking a wrong mission one because Ave picked the wrong mission one.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could be, but like it's he's like fucking over Haka in a potential universe by resing Arm.
So
Like you can be
1.1
Percy and you're on a fail
seems.
in mission two with a Merlin and a VT. You can just
Yeah.
rando res one of the other VTs and still have you have like a 5 out of 6 chance of being correct.
Yeah,
So
so you
he could
mean
he could be
that
doing that, but
so
then he was doing that.
Bumfuzzle to Complex and Hakka, he wouldn't kill Zigzag, and Zigzag assumes 1.1 is wrong, so 1.2 is wrong.
Yeah, no, what I mean is that like, and then 1.5 was like assuming those are wrong, right? So it's a little bit rough because I think Haka's, and I said this even as a spectator, like Haka, there was a viable team called Anti-Complex and Arm Zigzag, where Haka's Merlin and that's what possibly Dusa was playing for. So I mean, so that's why I think Dusa can, and Dusa took a very long time to pick 1.5. So he was probably thinking about a lot of things. Like as a VT, there's actually not that much to think about. So I think Dusa to complex is actually kind of viable. But I mean, I guess Bum to complex is just, I feel like it's kind of weird, but it's also viable. Like I think it's like complex has two weak Percies and Bum has one very strong Percy, and you have to kind of with your reads like trying to think about that, I guess.
Yes, and also this, I find it interesting to see 1.4 picked. So if Hakka's rest would be Armter after 1.2, if he's Percival to complex Hakka. And he's off-picking Hakka with Arm. So off-picking Morgana, Merlin question mark with the rest.
Yeah, that
Let's
doesn't make
just say
sense.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
1.2 and 1.4 doesn't follow. I think other than this, like the only assassination, if we were assassinating, would be to look at whether Arm was just the Merlin and chatting cringely in Mission 3, because he can accost Dusa and then just take it back if he feels like it, right? Because he ended up accosting Dusa, laughing at him. Dusa did chat very well in response to the aggressiveness. So, but then he just pickaps Dusa again.
uh, yeah, I think we're just looking at complex to Bumfuzzle.
I think that's the strongest. Let me just check Arm Percy's. Arm Percy would be complex to Arm can make sense.
I think this
Doesn't.
is the only possible, because 3.1, after Arm's chat, who says literally, I'm gonna hold you down to this team, if you're Percival to Arm and Baumfuzzle and Medusa, you're always approving. Especially after Ave said that, M1
Yeah,
was
yeah. Okay,
has
so
asked.
so you're right. Like I think only Percival to Arm is like Dusa, and they're just like arguing with each other. But then Dusa doesn't reject 3.2. No, I think Arm is a weak Merlin. Well, I think Complex is the only Merlin, so Bum is never rejecting 3.1 there. If Arm is Merlin, Complex didn't participate in that section, right? So it could easily be that Dusa is Merlin and just cringe chatting by pretending to be aggressive to a res about the wrong team and then picking him anyway. But that only works, and Percy's behavior only makes sense if Complex is the Percy.
But don't you think that Complex to Armter is picking anti-hack and Baumfuzzle? Complex to Armter, or maybe even
No, but
no, he's picking
no, but like
Hakka, I
no,
think.
but Ave, like Arm didn't want Ave or Huck on Mission 3. Like Arm really did a lot there.
So, but there's also a
It's
chance
really
of
who's a
Complex to
stronger.
Arm.
I
Ref,
think
what do
I
you
think I
think?
think
Yep.
I think to that extent, you look at what Complex is playing, and then is he a stronger Percy to Bum or Arm? Like if he's a Percy to Arm, he did approve 3.3, maybe to Percy. But then maybe Haka's pick approving 3.4 made him dislike it. I still think Bum's probably a stronger shot at this point if I were to instantly shoot. They have 7 minutes left, I think.
And like Complex to Armter, isn't he curious about anti-Bumfuzzle Armter?
Yeah.
Maybe not, because 1.1 would be correct, and then 1.2 would be wrong.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So Complex to Arm, unpursing 3.3.
Oh, I think Haka is pasting the chat and saying Complex is wrong. Like Bumfuzzle. I think I would shoot Bum over Arm. I mean Arm could be Merlin. Like Complex is really weak Percy's. Well, I think Deuce is a possible Percy. It's viable, but it's kind of eh. And
Yeah, I do think it's Complex to Bumfuzzle.
I mean, Bum also was telling. Yeah, Bum had that random piece of chat telling Complex he's wrong. But with Complex, I don't know. I don't have reads on Complex very much, but I would expect a special game player, Percy in Mission 3, to not approve and reject all the correct teams.
Oh yeah, at least
Because he
one on
did that.
Percy.
Because he basically approved every possibly correct team and rejected the only possibly the wrong number of Merlin's team.
And
So I mean,
yes,
I don't
and
that's kind of a reverse psychology thing where most Percys, just to be safe, don't do
oh, and
that.
he's accusing so ref, and there would be also this another Percy. He sees 1.4, so it's not right hand side and Ave. That's why he's accusing. Oh, he's not accusing. Or did he accuse?
No, he didn't accuse.
Oh, he didn't accuse. That would be an unfair then. A very strange one, though.
1.4 is the bottom. I don't like bump to complex. I don't agree with assassins here.
Bump to complex. Oh,
No, like bump
I
to
was
complex is fucking over
considering that
Haka.
one, but yeah, I also don't think that's the case.
Yeah. I think it's complex to bomb is probably the best shot, with the secondary shots being complex to arm and induce it to complex. I think that's my conclusion. I would probably shoot bum.
And I fully agree on this one. I think. Oh, they are shooting bomb fossil though.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Awesome. Or maybe not, because my team is Res. But your team is Spice, so they're gonna take the best shot. Okay, I would love this to like be Medusa Merlin. That would be.
No, I don't think it's possible for Medusa to be Merlin.
This is the dream. This is the dream. Definitely isn't though.
I don't know. I think complex shot is mostly going to be avoided because 2 VTs on arm and bum is just like vomit inducing. Like complex to arm can, I think, hold a slight argument, but that means bum is just assuming 1.5 is a PR move.
I really think Archer isn't Merlin, just like from vibes. I've played a lot of games with Arm, and yeah, I am wrong a lot. But this time, I feel.
Yeah, I think
I
it depends. It's like
feel.
the only just like taking the combos, taking a step back from the combos. I think Bum's 3.5 behavior is key. How you read it to determine how you assassinate, because his silence could be read either way. And then arm accosting Dusa is also a factoid that could be read either way. So I think you really need to balance which of those two facts you think is more Merlin or more unmerlining. And I'm not entirely sure, honestly, because I feel like at least I feel like I would be a Merlin. As a Merlin, I would try to be active on 3.5 if I see 4.4, 4.5 double spies, because hammer position is just a lot more like it's just important, and it's one of the only things that like other res can't really consider, and only Merlin can really consider and help the team with. So that's kind of part of my playstyle and what I see a lot of other experienced players do. So I mean, I definitely hit shots before by thinking how Merlin would react to a potential double spy hammer in Mission 4. And I don't know if this is one of those games. So I think, ideally, I would still consider ARM quite a bit. I don't think I really consider complex.
Also, they have 2 minutes left.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess.
And
I think if we were the actual spies, I think it's too difficult to hop off bomb right now.
Yep, we are definitely shooting bomb right now. So, from my experience with from playing with Bomb is that I do think he would be silent as Merlin, because he sees Arm doing all of the lifting, pretty much hinting into the clean repick. So he's like, "Oh, maybe this is how I will survive because Arm is claiming info. I don't have to say anything." We think. What does he mean? We think Bomb to comp. Is he talking to?
They think bomb to comp is a possibility, but we don't.
Ah, alright, makes sense.
Alright, we'll see if they're
Bomb
correct.
to comp? Wait a second, he's overriding. Complex is gonna die.
No. They're shooting bomb, I think.
Yeah.
We think bomb to comp is a possibility, but we would rather
It
shoot
was
bomb.
it was complex to bomb.
We were correct. Okay.
We were correct, of course.
That was a good shot from them.
We saw.
Well, I think
that is a huge assassination from us.
that was a good analysis / good game to watch.
Yeah, and I don't think there's much to add.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Ref, for featuring on this one.
Bye bye.
See you.